All right. It is another broadcast of the Ebony Star Network. We are sponsored by the Earth and Nation, and we are back with the basics, part two. Gentleman culture. What is gentleman culture? Well, we will be on ladies' nights, Saturday nights, and we will explain what gent culture is all about, why the Ebony Star has created gent culture, and what is its purpose. So come join us on Ladies Night when Gen Culture meets Ladies Night this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, let's get it going. It's Gen Culture up right now. All right, what's going on, everybody? I am the Black
Searching
Knight.
for music for your next video?
Okay. Mute, please. All right, I am the Black Knight. This is Gen Culture. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment. This time, we're going to pick up where we left off. We're talking about the basics. Now, the first installment of the basics was, it was be nice, thoughtful, and listening, right? Now we have basics part two. And the basics we're going to discuss tonight are love being a two-way street and also tending to your woman or your wife, which is extremely important to maintain are strong and healthy relationships. Now, also with me is the lady knight herself. Let's say hello to Miss Dame Frankie. How you doing, Miss
Hello.
Frankie? All
Good.
right,
How
got
you
you behind
doing?
the all right, got you behind the scenes there. So just hang on out with us. We'll probably holler at you later on towards the end of the show.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, Miss Frankie really likes this podcast. It's one of her favorite shows on the Ebony Star Network. Well, Turnabout is fair play. I like her show too. But anyway, now let's get started. One of the first things I want to say is that the relationship gurus, they got it all wrong. If you guys are listening to the relationship gurus out here, you're being led astray, you're being led in the wrong direction. Everything is messed up. Okay? For one, they're teaching you how to try to structure a relationship from a dictatorship type format. Doesn't work that way. Just because you see a strong man, it doesn't mean that he's dictating to his wife. Right? And pimps, understand something about a pimp. A pimp is an unfit man, let alone a husband or a father. A pimp is unfit to be a man, period. So there's nothing good you can learn from a pimp about being a man. All right. A pimp is not a fit father nor a fit husband. All right. And you shouldn't be following someone like that if you want to improve your relationship with women. As a matter of fact, if you're following people like that and you're listening to people like that, the opposite will happen. Okay. Women will reject you and want to stay away from you. Okay. So here's the deal. The gurus are teaching dictatorship. The gurus are teaching you to be selfish. They're teaching you to be selfish with your love. They're teaching you, as a matter of fact, they don't even want you to show the woman love. If you do, you're a simp. So, in order for them to have a successful relationship, according to the gurus, you have to be disrespectful to your woman. You see, as far as they're concerned, disrespect is showing strength. Now, that's not true. If you believe that, then you are a fool. Disrespect is actually showing weakness. It shows a woman how weak you are, not how strong you are. You understand? And so they're teaching you to try to dictate things in a relationship. They want things to happen on a one-way scale, a one-way street. They want the woman to love you and you only, and you don't have to reciprocate that love. No way, no shape, no how. And I'm telling you, that's wrong. That's no different than psychological and emotional abuse. You do not treat your woman that way. You're supposed to love your woman as hard as you can with everything you got. You understand? Now, don't be the kind of guy that's easy for a woman to avoid. What kind of guys are those? Well, red pill guys. Easy for women to avoid because they're anti-black women. You know, guys who say, guys who call men simps for showing love to their women. Those are easy guys to avoid for women. So don't be one of these guys. Now, love is a two-way street. When you get into a relationship with a woman, you must provide the love that she needs to help sustain herself in the relationship in order to take care of you, children, and maintain a household and be the woman that you want her to be. She needs love for all of that. Put it, think of it this way. Think of it as like putting gas in a car, right? The car doesn't go anywhere without gas. Well, love is like gas for women. You don't put any love into them, they don't go anywhere. At least not with you. Okay? So it's a two-way street. You have to put as much into her as she puts into you. Why? What did you think relationships were about? Did you get fooled by these lame idiots who are trying to tell you to beat the hell out of the woman and that's love? These foolish relationship gurus that sell you pickup lines and give you the latest line to try to get a woman into bed. Is that what you thought a relationship was all about? Well, that's not what relationships are about. Relationships are very serious. They take work, and they take two people working together. That's what real relationships are all about. Not just corny stuff about it's my castle. I pay the bills, and you do as I say. Why would you want to have a woman in your house that you are dictating like that to? Do you believe that at some point she will build up animosity towards you? You know what animosity can do to a person? You have any idea what it is that you're doing when you are degrading a woman in your household? When you are causing her to develop resentment towards you. It can be devastating. It can also be very painful. And sometimes it can outright be deadly. So to avoid all of that, you want to administer love to her as much as she administer it to you. Which leads me to my point, which is my main issue I want to talk about tonight, about tending to your woman, right? Now, a lot of you think that tending to your woman is something that a simp would do. You think that if you tend to your woman, if you help your woman, or if you do something for your woman, you're weak. Well, actually, that's not the case. This is what I mean by you have to stop listening to these gurus. You have to stop listening to these red pill people. You have to stop listening to the manosphere. You have to stop listening to SYSBM. You have to stop listening to these people. They don't know what they're talking about. And as long as you listen to them, you will never be successful in a relationship with a woman. Now, you might have a man that you can have a relationship with. He might be cool with all that stuff, but it's not going to happen with a woman. Now, when we talk about tending to our women, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a man's way of nurturing his own woman, right? If your woman needs something, okay, it's not always finances that she needs. It's not always groceries that she needs. It's not always, a ride to the store or, or a dress or a pair of shoes, okay? Or even sex in bed. Sometimes there's other things that happen to her that can wear her down emotionally and physically. And if those things continue to happen, she can end up becoming extremely sick or worse. And so it's up to you to make sure that when some of these symptoms come about, when some of these things happen, that you're there to tend to her to get rid of these symptoms. For example, fatigue. You have any ideas what chronic fatigue does to women? I mean, we know what it does to us, and we're much stronger. So imagine what it does to them. chronic fatigue. It can cause a bevy of issues with them. A lot of them could be psychotic. A lot of them could be emotional. So when your woman is fatigued, you definitely want to pay attention to that. That's a very serious issue when it comes to women. You should never overlook fatigue in a woman. You should take that seriously and find out why your woman is fatigued and do something about it. Whether you need to take her to the doctor, whether you need to make it easier for her at the house, whether you need to add another pillow to the one that she already has so she can sleep more comfortable. Whatever you need to do, you need to help her get rid of that fatigue so she can be healthier. Okay? You see, it's not just having a beautiful woman in the house. It's not just having a sexy woman in the house. Okay, it's not just having a woman with a killer walk or a sexy voice living with you in the house as your wife. It's also about health. See, a lot of us don't think about our woman's health, but our women think about our health all the time. They're constantly after us about going to the doctor. Constantly. Hell, many of them, when they get to the doctor's office with us, they fill out all of the paperwork. How many of you have gone to the doctor, dragged there by your woman, and she got there, got your information, told you to sit down, and she filled out all of the paperwork? They're very into our health. You know why? Because, like I said on the other Gen Culture, when they love us for real, and they love us hard, and they want us to live a very long time, and they want us to be healthy because they want us around for a long time. Now, why is it that that's not discussed on the male side? Why isn't red pill guys talking about a black woman's health or helping her maintain her health? Because they don't care. They hate black women. And they want you to hate black women too. But your woman's health is as important as your own health. If your woman isn't healthy, then she can't love you as hard as she's supposed to. She can't be there for you the way she's supposed to. You know why? Because her health is ailing her, and her body's failing. So you have to be there. You have to be there in her times of need. A lot of things break women down that you don't see because they're repetitive and they continue to happen over a period of time, and you don't pay attention to it. Like, for example, if your woman starts complaining about her feet hurt, take that seriously, but that can lead to an ankle issue. Next thing you know, she can't walk because her ankles are messed up, because her feet are hurting all the time. She can't stay on her feet. You need to check these things out. Well, your woman you need to listen to your woman when she's complaining about things that you don't think is serious. They are serious to them. See, we don't think a lot of things are serious because we're big, burly, strong men, most of us, right? So we don't think a cold is any old thing. We don't think a little pain in the ankles is any old thing. We'll just tape it up or wrap it up and keep it moving. Well, excuse me. Well, understand, they are not built like us. They are not us. This is why I take serious issue with idiots who say that they don't see any difference between a man and a woman. I mean, you've got to be a knucklehead to say something stupid like that. And women, if you see or hear a man that says something like that, that is definitely a guy you should avoid. And so, what you need to do is pay attention to the things that she complained about. If she's telling you that she has a headache, ask her about the headache. Investigate. Make sure it's much to do about nothing. But don't sit there and say nothing and do nothing. This is your woman. This is the woman that you love. This is the woman that is bearing your children. This is the woman that you want to spend your life with. It's the woman that you call your baby mama. So you have to be into her health as much as she's into your health. Now, how do you tend to your woman? How many of you really love your women the way you say you love your women? What are you willing to do for your woman? Now, a lot of you guys followed Kevin Samuels when he was alive. And one of the things he said over and over again, right? Because he said high value men had options. Stupid shit like that. And so a lot of you phonies think that you're high value men and that you have options, right? Because you don't have a mind of your own and you can't think for yourself. You let another man think for you. And you're making a fool out of yourself, right? So let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. He said, you always said to the women, what are you willing to do? Well, I'm saying the same thing to you guys. If you love your woman, then what are you willing to do to show her that you love her? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to walk 3 miles on foot to get her some Tylenol for her headache? Are you willing to drive to another city to get her something that she needs to relieve her pain? Or to pick up a package for her? What are you willing to do? Have you asked yourself that? Have you asked yourself, what are you willing to do to consistently show your woman that you love her? Are you willing to go all out? Are you willing to do things that cowardly men will call you a simp for? Are you willing to get up in the middle of the night because your woman is having some aches and pains? And you have to go to work in 3 hours. And she's up, she's having severe aches and pains. And the only thing open is the local 7-Eleven because it's 24 hours. And you got to go to work in a couple of hours. She just woke you up out of a dead sleep. She's in pain. Are you willing to go to the 7-Eleven at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning? No, you got to get up at 5 and get her some ibuprofen or some Tylenol or something to help relieve her body pain. Are you willing to do those things? You see, because those things are done out of love. See, because if you're making excuses, if you're saying, "Nah, baby, don't, wait in the morning and wait all that," then how much do you really love your woman? If your woman is telling you that she's in pain, you shouldn't be telling her to wait. Why are you telling her to wait? Do you not love her? So, what are you willing to do to show your woman that you love her? And they go through a lot of pain. That's a lot of times they suffer in silence. Sometimes they die on you because they keep their pain and suffering to themselves. And you're wondering why she's about to pass away because you never took the time out to tend to her, to tend to her healthy needs. I cringe when I hear brothers who have wives that gave them beautiful children and the wives put on a few pounds because babies do that to some women. Babies are devastating. Okay? Babies are no joke. Those are human beings. This woman is bringing a human being into the world. That is a big deal. That's no mean feat. That's a big deal. She's bringing a life force into this world. A life force that is so strong it can very well kill her in the process. And so it wrecks her body sometimes. She puts on a few extra pounds. And then you on some, you better lose weight or I'm leaving you. Wait a minute. First of all, I just had a child. What are you talking about you leaving? I mean, you willfully want to be a deadbeat dad. You willfully want to be an absentee father because your wife just pushed out this beautiful baby and he left her with a few extra pounds on her. And you want some BS about you ready to leave because she gained a few extra pounds? And you guys always talking about somebody being fat. Are you guys crazy? A lot of you niggas are fat. Excuse my French. A lot of y'all are fat. I don't get that one. There's more of y'all fat than black women. Y'all most certainly outnumber black women when it comes down to being fat and obese. I mean, look who's talking. Anyway, so I cringe when I hear men say, you better lose weight. You see, I feel sorry for the woman when she's in a situation like that because it's obvious that she made a mistake. She made a mistake in believing in you that you were the man for her. You see, I talked about this before. I talked about how men lie to women. See, a lot of women love fairy tale stories. They want to be the Cinderella with the glass slipper, the black Cinderella with the glass slipper. They want to be the black Dorothy. They want to click their heels and say, there's no place like home. They want to ride over the rainbow. And on the end, they want to meet Prince Charming and, you know, dashing Denzel and felonious Fruquan. Well, I don't know about felonious. Okay, maybe that's the wrong word. But you know what I mean. Okay? They want to meet Ray Kron and them, the cool dudes of the neighborhood, the cool gentlemen. You know, they want to live happily ever after. They want to be swept off their feet. They want to be carried over the threshold. Why? Because they're women. They're ladies. They like charming things. And so when you come to them with this rhetoric about how good you are and give us some old story, which is filled with a bunch of lines and lies, okay? You are, in fact, tricking her. And so she's listening to your rhetoric, and you get to her. And now she believes you. She believes that you are the man for her. She believes that you are her Prince Charming. She believes that you are the man that will lead her to the promised land. She believes that you are the man that is fit to be her husband and fit to be the father of her children or the father of your children. But then when she gets pregnant and 9 months later have your first beautiful child that nearly killed her in the process, all you can do is tell her if you don't lose weight, you're leaving her. I feel sorry for her at that point because what she should do is leave you that very moment. But it's heartbreaking, right? Because you lied to her and now you're stabbing her in the back. You're stabbing her in the back and you're running down the street and you're looking for red pill guys to justify your betrayal of the woman who thought she was choosing the right man because your lies were just that good. So it's obvious you don't love her. Let me tell you another way to show your woman that you don't love her. When you don't go out and get honest to work. You see, when you're in a relationship with a woman, right? One of the ways you show her that you love her is to go out and get a job and work hard to bring funds into the house so you guys can have a better way of life so you don't be panhandling and you're not robbing Peter to pay Paul. See, you can't rob Peter too much to pay Paul because one day you're going to run down on Peter and Peter is going to have a gun waiting for you. And as soon as he see you, he going to start shooting. Then what you going to do? So that's one of the ways you show your woman and your child that you love both of them, right? You go out and you bust your ass in the job or you find a way to have a legitimate chance at becoming wealthy, right? If you go take your ass and sit your ass on the couch and watch football games and talk shit with your pants, with your hand down your pants, and talk on a cell phone that she pays for with your niggas who is doing the same thing as you talking shit, then you don't love her. See, the problem is she doesn't know that you don't love her. She doesn't recognize that yet. See, I'm here to expose, ladies, that that is telling you that he don't love you. If a man isn't out working hard to make sure you and him have a better life, then he doesn't love you. He doesn't care about you. He's only there for sex and he's only there to manipulate you. That's why he's always asking you for bus fare, car fare, always making you feel guilty that he's worthless and he doesn't have a job because he doesn't love you. And this is an easy fix. Throw him out. Easy fix. Throw him out. Don't let a man live on you that isn't worth his pride and his dignity as a man. You see, a prideful man will get his butt up and go to work. A prideful man will do what he has to do to bring money in. Let me give you an example of how prideful I was. When I was going to college, I was going to work. I was working and going to college at the same time, right? Which is hard to do. It was for me. That's why I have a lot of respect for people who do that. So my wife was a banker at the time. She was making money to sustain both of us, but I was a prideful man, right? I still went out and got a job to help because that's what I'm supposed to do. I've been raised a certain way. Let me tell you what one of those jobs was. There was a large supermarket chain in Jersey City called Pathmark. Pathmark, look it up, Pathmark. Also ShopRite and A&P. Those were the three giants in Jersey back in the day. And Pathmark was located downtown New Jersey. I used to work there. And you know what I used to do? Pathmark had this huge parking lot. And people would come in and they would get carts and they would go shopping. And then they would leave the carts in the parking lot all over the place. And a lot of times those carts got in the way of other cars that wanted to park in the parking spaces of people who wanted to go in and shop. So I was hired to sit outside and run around in the parking lot and retrieve shopping carts and bring them back to the front and properly put them in their place so they wouldn't be in the way. And let me tell you something. This wasn't an easy job. Being 6'4" at the time 287 pounds. Didn't look right. I looked like a big Barney, even though I didn't wear purple. I looked like a big black Barney running around the parking lot. And let me tell you something. People took the time to call me out my name, crack jokes. I was the butt of jokes. I was laughed at and constantly made fun of. It was embarrassing, but I had to bring in a paycheck. I did what I had to do. And of course, things worked out later on in life. Ended up becoming extremely successful, making over six figures, whatever. But it began there. Why? Because I loved my wife. I wanted us to have a good lifestyle. I needed to bring money into the household. I didn't care that my wife was making more money than me. That had nothing to do with me. That was her money. She earned that. So, ladies, if a man does not work to improve the quality of life for you, him, and the children, he doesn't love you or those children. If a man goes out and sells drugs, putting himself in harm's way to jeopardize his freedom, he doesn't love you. Because that's not what a man who loves his women and children would do. I would have never gone out into the street and sold drugs. I would have made a lemonade stand and sat outside and sold lemonade and tried to bring in a few dollars every day that way before I did anything illegal. Because if you don't have your freedom, then you cannot be there to take care of your woman or your children. And ladies, this is what I want you to understand going forward. I don't care how much you think you love this Negro. If he didn't go to jail for something righteous, do not go and visit him in jail. And do not take the kids to see him in jail because he don't love neither one of you no way. Because if he did, he wouldn't have his black ass in jail. Now, there are exceptions. Like I said, if he didn't go to jail for something righteous, like defending you or defending his son or daughter, it wasn't something righteous, then don't go and see him. Matter of fact, as soon as he take his black ass to jail, you need to take your black behind on to some other places and close that chapter in your life because he doesn't love you and he doesn't love his child. Because he took one of the most precious things away from you and your children, which is his freedom. His freedom to provide for you, his freedom to love you and protect you. He willingly took that away from you by allowing himself to willfully break the law and get caught and his freedom taken away. In the grand scheme of things, you would call that extremely selfish. He was just thinking about himself. He couldn't have cared less about you or the child. So, fellas, I'm challenging you now. What are you willing to do to show your woman that you love her? Are you willing to do the extra thing? Are you willing to stay by her side when she has a fever and she needs to lie in bed and she needs some tender loving care? Are you willing to sacrifice the time? Are you willing to put the cold rag over her forehead? Are you willing to take her temperature? Are you willing to follow the doctor's orders, to be by her side, to get her medication, to do certain things that she needs to do so that she may be nursed back to full health? Are you willing to do these things? Are you willing to be a house husband when your woman cannot do anything? She may be temporarily incapacitated and cannot do certain things around the house at that time. Are you willing to become a house husband, so to speak, and still work at the same time? Women do this all the time. They work and still be housewives. How is it that they can do it, but we can't work and be house husbands? So your woman goes down for a period of time and she's incapacitated. Are you willing to pick it up? Because she needs to count on you. Are you willing to be there so that she can count on you for everything? Everything. Everything. Yeah, and this is going to cut into your PlayStation time. It's going to cut into your Xbox time. Hell, you may need to sell your Xbox chair depending on how expensive her medication is if she's sick. Are you willing to do all of that? Are you willing to do all of that? Are you willing to wake up in the morning in the middle of the night and walk a mile or two because the car's broke down and she's in pain? Are you willing to wake up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, knowing you got to be to work at 5:30, and willing to walk a mile and some change, which is the closest store, to get her something for her pain? Are you willing to show her that there's nothing that you won't do for her? Because you see, that's what love is all about. That's what real love is all about. So you guys play games with love. Women don't play games with love. Women know what love is. They don't play games. Women are ready to ride and die. When they say they love you, they mean that shit. They will knock somebody over the head for you. They're not playing. You guys play too much, man. You guys don't know what love is. You guys play games with women. You guys play. Women aren't playing. See, that's what the problem is. You guys think this is a game. You're always talking about game, game, game. Women aren't playing games. When they say they love you, that's not a game. They are for real. And you need to understand that. Or it can be devastating for you with some women. With some women, their love isn't to be trifled with. There will be severe consequences. Now, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to tend to your woman the way she tends to you? Or do you have a flair or a natural nurturing in yourself to tend for your woman? Because this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about, to be a real man. Oh, what you thought? You thought it was just about being cool, and you get to wear suits and with butterfly collars and platform shoes with goldfish in them, and you get to do the pimp lean walking down the street with your banana pants and bell bottoms and shit. You thought that's what it was all about? You didn't think that you had to actually do anything for this woman? How do you think long-term relationships and marriages are sustained? I'm going to tell you how. Because in a lot of those long-term relationships and marriages, the men understand that they have to do something too. It's not just what the woman is going to do. You have to do something too. If she makes you a bowl of soup while you're in bed trying to get through a cold, You need to do the same thing with her. When she's in the bed trying to get through a cold, you need to get her some soup. See, women need different things than us. So you have to understand there are certain things that they need that are quite different from us. Like for example, women give us massages, shoulders, back, whatever, right? You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times they need foot massages because a lot of them do work where they're on their feet all day. Give them a foot massage. That goes a long way with them. We're different. We can be on our feet for hours and hours and days. We're built like that. They're not. They be on their feet in heels all day. They feet hurt. Help them out. Massage their lower legs, their calves. Help their legs stay loose. Tend to your woman. Give her some TLC. You think she won't love you for that? But you see, a fool would tell you, well, that's some simp shit. That's not some love shit. That's some simp shit. Let your woman suffer, man. Because if you don't, you're not being a pimp. You're not pimping. If you ain't letting your woman suffer, you're not being a player. You're not being a pimping. I'm here to tell you that you're being a fool pimping, that you're being a jackass pimping, that you're being an asshole pimping, that you're being an idiot pimping. That's what I'm here to tell you. That you're being a fool pimping. That's what I'm here to tell you. Pimping. You know, when I hear you guys talk about pimping, it makes me laugh because I know you aren't real men. You are men who wish you were real men. That's why you glorify pimping. Because to you, a pimp is a real man. A pimp can get girls. That's why a lot of you guys like pimps. Because they can get girls, and the way they abuse their women, you think that's the proper way to deal with women. So you already have an unhealthy understanding on what a relationship with a woman is all about. Because you're already being taught the wrong way by pimps. You don't think abusing a woman physically and mentally and emotionally, you don't think there's anything wrong with that? And then, I sit here and I listen to a lot of you guys try to talk this pimp talk, try to talk this tough talk. Hmm. One second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I gotta take care of something real quick. Okay, so I'm back. And so, yeah, pimping. Shout out to Koja. Yeah, pimping. You guys kill me when you talk about pimps, man. Y'all glorify pimps because pimps don't. Pimps are irresponsible. Pimps live off the hard work in the backs of women. And somehow y'all think that's the correct way to treat a woman. This is why many of you hate women and don't like your daughters and don't even like and can't stand 3-year-old little girls. You guys attack 3-year-old little girls. And for some reason, you don't think anything's wrong with that. You think that that's some kind of situation that you should be okay with, and society should be okay with you being that way. I'm here to let you know that that's not a proper relationship with a woman. As a matter of fact, that's something you should go to jail for. I'm here to teach you guys the real deal, give you the real information that the gurus are leaving out. So you don't go into a relationship thinking that there's nothing you should do and a woman should do everything. It doesn't work that way. This isn't the goddamn movies. This isn't a damn cartoon. This is real life. You are charged to do just as much as she does. You understand? You think your woman ain't going to be appreciative if she has a job to where she's on her feet all day and you come home and you give her a hug and a kiss and you give her a foot massage? Man, are you kidding me? Give her a neck massage, tend to her needs, just like she tend to yours. It's okay for her to do things for you, but you're a simp if you do things for her. You see, that's it. That's the problem with pimp culture. Pimp culture wants you to see things one way and in a violent way. They want you to be violent towards women, and they only want you to see it one way. To pimps, love is a one-way street, and that street leads to the pimp, from the women to the pimp. He wants to be the street in which love flows through. There ain't no love going back to the women. The only thing a pimp loves is how much money the girl gives him at the end of the day when she has to file her vagina over and over and over for this lousy, poor excuse for a male. And now you guys think it's funny too, right? You say, well, why you hate on pimps? Isn't it obvious? I don't even answer guys who say, well, why you hating on pimps? Answer you for what? So, gentlemen, tending to your women is extremely important because it's the fabric in your relationship. It's what lets your woman know that you truly love her. Any man can sit up here and show up and pay a few bills. Right? Hold on one second, y'all. Give me 5 minutes. Hey, Dame, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Take over me about 5 or 10 minutes. I'll be right back.
All right. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's about giving what you want. You tend to her, and she tends to you. Yeah. Um. You give, she gives, and if she's always giving, she's depleted. Her energy is gone. Um. Or she's gonna get fed up. She's gonna try different ways to let you know that hey, this is what she needs. Hmm. And if you're not listening. Then you get into what she's constantly having to tell you, and then she won't stop telling you. And once she stopped telling you, that's the beginning of the end. And then she's gone. And then like, what happened? I was, I did everything. Did you? And usually it's like, yeah, I went to work, I paid the bills, I did this and that. But were you listening to her? Hmm. Were you taking care of her when she's sick or when she's hurting? Yeah, yeah, I know men and men that save uh um their wives' life by tending to her. Yeah, paying attention to her, paying attention to things even she ain't paying attention to, and it'd be like, I work. I know, man, that when he works all the time, his job takes him away from home. But when he's home, he got she got all his attention. He saved his wife because there was something she hadn't paid attention to that he did, and he insists that she go to the doctor and see
Okay.
about that something wasn't right. Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm back. Hold on.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Hmm.
Thank you, Dan, for holding it down.
Uh-huh.
Now, getting back to what I was saying, she's right. When you don't tend to your woman, eventually she becomes depleted and she will leave. And many of you will say, well, I was paying the bills, I was doing this, I was doing that, but she ran away. She skedaddled. Well, it's because you're not tending to her. And these are the things that the relationship gurus don't tell you. And this is basic information, fellas. I shouldn't have to tell many of you this, but judging from the severe lack of any kind of understanding of women, I have to go back to the basics for many of you, because many of you just don't have any kind of common knowledge about women. You don't know how to do anything. I mean, some of you are just absolutely pathetic and void of any kind of information or knowledge about women. You don't even know how to get a woman's attention. You know, I heard a pickup line that I thought was pretty jazzy. Okay, and this is probably something that a relationship guru would tell you. The line went something like this. He said, "Hey, lady, you remind me of the 20 letters in the alphabet. 20 letters. As a matter of fact, you know what, Dame? Come in here for a second.
Yes.
We got that on tape, don't we?
Yeah. Hmm.
Find it. Let me know when you got that. Cue that up. I will let
Okay.
you hear this line for yourself. It was a pretty jazzy line. Something to get the woman smiling. You know, I tell you guys, the key to a lot of women is to make them smile, make them laugh. That loosens them up. You can have a nice conversation with them. You can get to know them. But always remember, you want to get to know the woman. Don't never try to pull advanced moves on a woman you don't know. All right, especially if you trying to um, if you're trying to have sex with a woman, okay, you definitely don't pull anything on her and you don't know her. You got to take the time out to get to know the woman that you're with. You'll have a better relationship with her, even if the relationship isn't the relationship that either one of you want. Because even in going your own ways, you'll have a good understanding about each other and may remain friends. That's why you should always get to know the woman that you're trying to court. Dave, you have it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, y'all. I want y'all to hear this pickup line. It's pretty jazzy. All right?
Okay.
Play it, Dave.
What's up, baby? You remind me of the 20 letters in the alphabet.
26 letters in the alphabet.
Silly me. How could I forget the U-R-A-Q-T?
No, there's only 25. You're still missing one. You can't count.
I'm sorry. Silly me. You can get that D later.
All right, that's a pretty slick line. Yeah, I give him credit on that one, right, Dave? That was pretty slick.
Yes.
You gotta be clever sometimes, fellas. That was a pretty slick one. Let's play it one more time, okay? Play it one more time, Dave.
All right, watch this. What's up, baby? You remind me of the 20 letters in the alphabet.
26 letters in the alphabet.
Silly me. How could I forget the U-R-A-Q-T?
No, there's only 25. You're still missing one. You can't count.
I'm sorry. Silly me. You can get that D later.
That was pretty slick, fellas. Compliments of GentCulture. That was pretty slick. All right, and so we're getting ready to wrap it up here. We didn't, intend on staying on all night, but I just wanted to put out there how important it is to tend to your women, fellas. If you think that a relationship is a one-way street, then you're not fit to be in a relationship. And please, don't drag a woman into your misunderstanding about what a relationship is. Don't ruin her life. Okay? So, I think I covered everything. I might want to talk about a little bit more at some point. But we'll be back with a part 3. We're doing the basics. We don't know how many parts we're going to have yet. We're going to do as many parts as needed before we move on to some advanced stuff and creating the GentCulture. So, with that being said, we are at the end of the show, and I'd like to bring in Miss Dame Frankie. Come on in here.
All right.
What do you think about the show?
Oh, I think it was great. It was good to point out that you got to take care of the woman as much as she take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that should be natural for a good man. That should be natural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
But these guys don't know that because they're listening to these dating coaches, these so-called dating gurus who want to drive a wedge between men and women. They don't want women to, they don't want men to be loving men and being caring men to their women and still be strong men. They don't want that. They want men to be physically brutal, emotionally brutal, and abusive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, because that's the abusive of her spirit. If she's constantly giving, and you're not giving in return.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If a man is woken up by his woman at 3 or 4 in the morning He has to be to work at 5:30 in the morning. And
Uh-huh.
she's telling him that she has tremendous head pain. In the nearest store is a mile and a half away because they don't have anything in the house. So he has to walk because the car is broken
Hmm.
and there's no Uber or public transportation. So he has to walk a mile and a half to get us something for her head. Would you call that man a simp? What would you call that man?
Uh, I would, well, I would like to call him my man. Um,
Hmm.
I would call him a very loving man.
Is that a simp?
Oh no, no, that's not a simp.
Hmm.
That's a man that
Uh,
cares for his woman.
right.
Hmm.
Exactly. And so, in closing, it's like I said before, right? Kevin Samuels always said to women, "What are you willing to do?" So we flipped that question over to the men. What are you willing to do to show your woman that you love her? What do you think then? You think that's a fair question?
Yeah. And if you're not willing to do anything for your woman, then you shouldn't have a woman.
Hmm. And with that being said, thank you of the music. With that being said, we are at the end of Gen Culture. Thank you for tuning in. We will probably be back tomorrow. Well, no, we'll be doing a conversation with Lady Dave. Gen Culture will return on Thursday night, and we'll have part three to the basics. Until then, we'll see you on Gen Culture on Thursday night. Peace, power, and unity. All right, Dave. Let's get on at it.
Bye.